I'm Dave Dinkle with another 2-minute tip, and this one is simply there are no deals on the MLS. I'm repeating these things because not everybody watches all of my videos. Remember, I fund transactional funding in 30 states. I would say to you that from those 30 states come hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals, and I get to see every one. Are they listed? Are they directly with a seller? I'm going to say to you, frankly, that about 40 to 45% of them are listed properties. And most people believe there's no deals on the MLS. Most gurus will tell you don't bother with it. In fact, just go directly to sellers. And what they've done is made it harder for new investors to get to the sellers because you're all running after the same pie. Remember, if it's a listed property, in most cases, the seller listed it to get rid of it because he doesn't want it anymore. It may be because he hasn't paid his taxes, hasn't paid his mortgage, he's getting a divorce, he's going into bed, whatever all the reasons are. He listed it so he thinks that he can get rid of it faster than an investor coming to him and making him a cash offer that's lower. What's the most he can get out of it? Okay, that's fine. Our FSBO. The average FSBO lasts about 14 to 16 days, and he turns into a regular seller. He goes back and lists the property. There are plenty of deals on the MLS, and the big clue is if they've been listed for less than 31 days, they're not a deal. They should have been under contract before the 5th day. And if they've been under contract and they haven't closed, now they're becoming more interesting. Seller's more motivated, angry in some cases. Listing agent is like, oh my gosh, what happened? I should have scrutinized that buyer more closely, whatever. And the flip side is don't start thinking that, well, I'll just look on the MLS for deals that have been out there 180 days or more. 180 days is the typical contract that an agent goes for. I say typical because I saw a listing agreement in the public record filed as a lien for 40 years. That homeowner that was going to sell his house and changed his mind in the next 40 years, if he sold it, that came up as a lien. How do I know that? I was funding the two properties, and these liens came up for both of those people. How? Is that a coincidence? No. Those people went into pre-foreclosure. This agent, broker, came to them and said, look, you're going to have to list the property or the bank won't work with you. I don't care if you file bankruptcy. I don't know how long you can stay in there. It doesn't matter to me. But here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to pay you to list the house. An agent coming to me and paying me to list the house? Yeah, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to give you $500, whatever I can get away with, the least amount. Here you are. In lieu of that, I get this signed agreement to list your property when it has to be listed. Sounds pretty good to me. $500, $1,000. And when I'm going to list it, I'll give you a call. What happens? He goes to sell the property directly with a buyer, an investor. Doesn't have to list it. But the investor goes to close and boom, up pops a lien for 40 years that broker has on record. Now these things are sometimes urban legends. I was told forever that a broker couldn't file a lien if he had a listing agreement, all kinds of stuff like that. Well, this broker didn't care. What she did is she just goes and files them, and then you have to negotiate with her when you get to the closing table. And what does she want? She wants 3% of whatever you paid for it. Not what you paid, but full market value. If you're paying 100 and full market value is 200, the contract, the listing agreement says 3% of full market value, not listing. So talk about a scam, pretty good one. But again, people are out there doing things. So aside from going out there and scamming people by getting a listing agreement, by paying for it, that stays in the public record till it's paid off, there are deals everywhere on the MLS and they're selling every day. And if you're saying to me, Dave, you can't tell me that because every property sells at or above listing price. Agents and brokers have been saying that since there have been agents and brokers to get motivated buyers to buy them. Yes, we're in a crisis spot in the marketplace where everything goes quickly, that's rehabbed and ready to move into. But trust me, there's a lot of wholesale inventory that hasn't sold because it's just a little bit too high. You have to have a different strategy to work MLS deals, but they're out there and I wouldn't give them up. So I'm Dave Dinkle, and I wish you limitless success in all that you do.